Good morning. I have sound. This is good. I'm still half asleep. That's why we're here, to wake ourselves up with some drumming. There's my cat, my new cat, who I now let out for Murphy. Come on, listen. Come close. Psst. You're really my well, maybe you're making my live stream better. Who knows? Cats. We have just adopted two beautiful, beautiful cats. Maine Coon cats, a brother and a sister. Murphy and Mia, who their owner couldn't keep them anymore for reasons that I won't go into. So I'm covered in cat hair, but I have two beautiful, fluffy new friends. Super nice. So, hello, 4 of you online already, beautiful. Hopefully you all got to see Murphy before he made a fast exit. His little sister, she's smaller, I don't know if she's younger. It'd be by a matter of seconds or minutes anyway. Is possibly the most beautiful cat in the world. You may disagree if you're a cat owner as well, but yeah, that's how it goes, right? So, let's get going. Just get my clock in position so I can keep a track of what we're doing. Let's get that metronome on, 80 BPM as always. And let's get going with some single stroke rolls at 8th note tempo, 8th note speed to 80 BPM. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and etc. Hopefully you know the drill by now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, 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 right, left. We've got some building work going on, so there might be some strange noises in the background. There's a scaffolding outside our house, Gerüst in German. So, because of course I am in Germany. For those of you who don't know me, not of course, but yes, I am in Germany, originally from London. Started doing video lessons 1.5 years ago when I moved here with some of my students. And that was a very good thing because now all my students are happily able to continue their lessons during the madness that's going on at the moment. So, right, left, 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 right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and hello Daniel. I managed to enable comments this time. Learning every day. Maybe Monday when I do my next live session, I will have even remembered to bring an XLR cable from the studio so that we can have a better quality sound. Got a beautiful microphone here, and I forgot to bring a cable. If I'd had that cable, I wouldn't have had these sound issues with the first stream on Monday. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to keep it a little bit snappier, a little bit shorter on our singles today. We went for about 10 minutes with the singles yesterday. Probably going to go to about the 7-minute mark today. So we can fit a little bit more stuff in, perhaps, or perhaps I'll realise I've completely misjudged the timing and end up having to freestyle the last bit. Who knows? Let's see. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and remember to adjust your snare stand. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So how's everybody doing? Are you having a nice week? Have you had a nice week? Are you looking forward to the weekend? Or is it just lockdown? Boring? Hello, Yella. Good to see you. Nice to have you on board. Single stroke rolls. Right, left, 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 right, left. Because of this lockdown, I haven't washed my hair since Monday. Honesty is always the best policy. How about you guys? I hope you've at least still been brushing your teeth. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So, as we're going into the last minute of single stroke rolls, I want to remind you, technique, of course, always, should probably give a better example of this, snapping the sticks down and then catching them at the top, the apex of the curve, taking them up to 90 degrees between each stroke, so that we're really extending the muscles in the arms, stretching them as much as possible, getting the blood flowing, and practicing for a full strength, full power stroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. I can see I've got a few others watching. Feel free to drop me a comment at some point so I know who you are. And if you're watching this later on catch up, of course, do drop me a message as well. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me doing here, showing you how to do here, adding to the warm-up or to the session. I will be adding different things next week. This week I wanted to just kind of keep it the same thing, get people interested, get people on board. So let me know if you have any ideas. And we're at the 7-minute mark. So let's swap now to our doubles. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm trying to just play this just with the wrists, not really involving the fingers. The fingers are kind of cushioning the stick, but not squeezing. Very important. Don't want to ever choke the stick. Never choke anyone. Really, really important advice for life. We can involve our fingers in this, and depending what you're practicing, depending what you're wanting to do, then yeah, of course, the fingers do get involved, and sometimes the rest of the arm, if we're using a molar motion, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. But I think it's nice for a warm-up just to play these nice wrist strokes, nice full strokes, get the full power from the wrist. Perhaps as you get more warmed up with each stroke, you want to start adding a little bit more fingers in there. So just giving it a little bit of a snap with the finger each time as well, a little squeeze. Again, not choking the stick. The stick needs to be alive in the hand to take the word choking. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, quite literally. Because if the stick can vibrate in the hand, this means a lot of things, the stick or the brushes, sticks. So one thing, of course, if you're squeezing too hard, this is tension. We don't want tension. Tension will slow us down. Tension will cause us to injure ourselves in the long term, cause us damage in the long term. So that's one thing. The other thing is probably, if we're squeezing the stick, we're not going to bounce off the drum properly. We're going to choke not only the stick, but the sound as well. And we want, if we're going to do that, because that can sound cool sometimes, we want that to be a choice. And for the rest of the time, of course, we want to sound the drum, let it ring out properly. So imagine a xylophone or a pitched percussion instrument like this. If you leave the stick or push the stick too much or the beater too much into the, I don't know what the individual thing of the xylophone is called, let's call it a key, then it won't sound, it'll go Kong. We don't want a Kong, we want a nice dong. Or from the drums, of course, the equivalent sound. I won't try and sing them all to you. Left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. We're now at the 10-minute mark. I guess I'm going to take us to 12 minutes with doubles, and then I'm going to take us on to paradiddles, of course. So while we're still on doubles, nice full strokes, keeping the sticks or the brushes bouncing back up to 90 degrees, pointing to the sky. Nice, solid foundation on your seat. You need to have your butt firmly planted on the seat so you're not wobbling around. A slight lean back, nice straight back. Always find myself checking my posture as I'm telling you guys this. Nobody's perfect. Well, some people are pretty goddamn close. Dave Weckl. Name your drummer. Dave Weckle's a phenomenal drummer. He's a real technician. I was never a big fan of the technical players. I've always been a groove player more than a flashy, showy, offy player. When I was at college, drum tech, studying drums, my housemate was obsessed with Dave Weckl. And we would watch all these videos. And of course, I found it really interesting to see what he was doing, even though, right, left, even though it wasn't my cup of tea. But I saw him live then during that year of study, and he grew a lot. You know, he was an older guy by this point. He's now an even older guy, 20 years older from then. And he'd kind of refined his playing. He'd stopped worrying about technique and speed and showing off so much. Gonna skip paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So yeah, he'd kind of chilled out a little bit and had become a little bit more musical. This is the problem. Oh, hang on. 3, 4, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. This is the problem sometimes with guys who are too technical. They forget about the music. And we can't do that. It's really not good. But he got his technique super sorted by then, of course. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Really kind of jaw-dropping, laughing at some of the stuff he was doing, laughing in amazement. Which, if you've never experienced laughing at a drummer because they're just so good, I urge you to check out more drummers. You're missing out. You will discover this feeling, I'm sure, at some point. Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Even perhaps a tear in the eye at some point. It was so moving. Oh, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. I remember reading an article, another wonderful, wonderful drummer, Peter Erskine. I urge you to go and check these guys out after the session. Peter Erskine, writing in Rhythm magazine, the old UK drum magazine, which I think sadly now doesn't exist anymore because the online media taking over. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And he wrote an article about the first time he'd been moved to tears while playing, while watching right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, or listening to music. You ever experienced that? Music making you almost want to actually cry? Or a little tear in the corner of the eye? When I read this, I guess I was like 15, 16, you know, teenage boy. You don't think crying's cool, right? Right, left, right, right. And when I read that, you know, this absolute top drummer, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, was experiencing life in the same way as me. That was really cool. That really made me kind of go, oh, I'm not weird. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. But of course, music is an expression of emotion, or should be an expression of emotion. So I'm confusing myself while I'm getting so into what I'm saying. So, yeah, we want to feel those emotions when we're playing them. Right, left, right, right. I could go on about this all day. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Let's concentrate on the drums. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. It's often said that blind musicians tend not to be one-hit wonders. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Because the theory goes that they are right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, because they are so focused on the sound and really getting the emotion through, therefore, that they're not bothered by the visual aspect, of course, that they tend to have kind of more truth to their sound, right, left, right, left, right, left, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Really interesting theory. I think I got that from a wonderful book called This Is Your Brain on Music, which is a book about the neuroscience of music. I love stuff like this. I love really geeky stuff. When I was a kid at school, I was rubbish. I just wanted to play drums, but the older I get, and really as soon as I was in my 20s, I started wanting to just study stuff for myself. And I've read a ton of things, pop science books on neuroscience. And that book, This Is Your Brain on Music by Daniel Levitin. What? Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. I would really recommend it. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Good. Let's move now to my favorite, the secondary beat roll, and we're going to play this first of all as the quarter note. So we're going to drop down from our 8th note speed to the quarter note, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Right, right, left, left. Quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Right, right, left, left. Right, right, left, left. You may be able to see that I'm using a little snap of the fingers here. This is because by snapping that second stroke with the fingers, you will lead yourself in the direction of drop, grab, doubles. Right, right, left, left. Quite loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Tap, snap, tap, snap, tap, snap, tap, snap. Drop, grab, doubles are really the way to get really nice, fast, bubbly, rolling doubles. Right, left, left, right, right, left, left. But you have to practice them slowly. When we start to speed them up, we will gradually lose the accent. Quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. And this will mean we will get super even volume doubles. If we just try and use the bounce, as many drummers do, especially many young drummers and new drummers, then we will get a quieter second note. And this can be cool sometimes. We just got to be careful there that it's not the only thing we can do. And if we're trying to do a roll with those, any kind of roll, it's going to sound pretty dribbly. Not nice. We don't want that sound for a roll. We might want it for a backbeat groove to make a little delay kind of effect. And actually, later on, I'll be showing you some times that can be super, super cool. So let's move up now to our 8th note rate. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'd be interested to know, I could probably just watch my own video back, how well you can hear the metronome. Because probably I should put it closer. Just using the internal audio at the moment, as I say, because I left my XLR cable in the studio. All of them. I've got hundreds of them, so I don't want to go and buy another one. Yeah, I hope you can hear that okay. Right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud. If you get confused, stop, wait for the start of the next bar, and start again. Right, right, left, right, right, left, left. Always checking our posture, that we're nice and relaxed in the shoulders, Nice straight back, nice straight neck. Head kind of balanced to the top, like a boulder, like a big stone on the top of a mountain, ready to roll down. But we're not going to let our heads roll off yet. We've got a few years before that happens. Right, right, left, left, 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 right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. And we're just going to do another minute of this, 45 seconds, because I like ending on the minute when I can. And then we're going to move on to the rudimental ritual. At which point, perhaps, I think for these exercises today, lesson 3, I will be losing the metronome for us for a second while we talk about them. I haven't actually thought this morning about what tempo the metronome should be at for these exercises, and some of them are a little bit more confusing. Maybe 80 BPM is fine. Let's check it out. But I will also move the metronome closer to the camera. Right, right, left, left, right, right. Coming up to our end now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and take a break. Yeah, good stuff. You feeling good? You feeling warmed up? Feel free to let me know in the comments section, or just have a little shake out, a little drink of your water. If you have a glass of water to hand, if you don't, make sure next time you do, because it's important. We need to stay hydrated as drummers, and really, really important when you're going out on tour, when you're playing concerts, etc., that you're hydrating sensibly throughout the day, because you don't want to just drink all your water before you go on stage and then find yourself just needing to pee for the whole concert. That's no good. But it doesn't matter what you do. When you drink your water, you will always, just before you go on stage, feel the need to go to the toilet. There's nothing you can do about that. It is the nerves. I have read that, keep picking this up, it doesn't matter. I have read that if you're doing public speaking, which of course would give you kind of the same sense of nerves, sometimes it's good to hold that need to go to the toilet in, because it will add a little bit of energy. I'm not sure I want to risk trying that for my next concert, but hey. So, those of you who don't know, people who have just tuned in, people who haven't seen this before, people who aren't my students or are watching and catch up, whatever, The Drummer's Complete Vocabulary, as taught by Alan Dawson, fantastic book. I teach this in all my lessons, and I would really recommend grabbing a copy of it. It's wonderful, the rudimental ritual. I described in detail in yesterday's video, day 2. So go back and check that out if you want to know more. And that also involves the second lesson. Day 1 has, of course, the first lesson. Today we're going to look at lesson 3, which is the the drag paradiddle. Drag paradiddles number 1, 2, and 3. So let's just describe them and remind ourselves of them before I dive into it. We've got an accented note at the start, then a little drag that leads us into a paradiddle. Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Accent, drag, which takes us into the paradiddle. Left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da. I love this rhythm. I'm going to put the metronome on in a second. We can try this now with the metronome. But it's really, really nice. We think of it as being in 3/4, but we can, of course, then fit that into a triplet. And that's where it starts to sound really good. So before I put the metronome on, I like, it's supposed to just have the accent on the first beat, not on the beat of the paradiddle. I like adding the accent onto the first beat of the paradiddle as well, because that sounds wicked in triplets. Or indeed moving it onto the second beat of the paradiddle, which gives us a more pure triplet or sextuplet feel, which is super, super nice. So let's see how this feels at 80 BPM. Hopefully this isn't too fast. Let me know, guys, if it is. 2, 3, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right. Oh, sorry, getting a bit bunged up here. 2, 3, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Hopefully, you have your book to hand if you are one of my students, so you can check that out, read the sticking. That will help. Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, da 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 da. We can make that drag a little bit shorter if we want to. This is why we need to work on our secondary beat roll to get those lovely little drop grab doubles. Right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So what I've done is I've pushed the double closer to the paradiddle following the first beat of that paradiddle. Right, left, left, right, left, right, taking it back to a more open interpretation. Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. And this, of course, is the importance of practicing the 3-stroke rough as well. Excuse me, losing myself here with a little bit of a dodgy throat going on. Because the flam, the 3-stroke rough, doubles, paradiddles, they build in to so many of our rudiments. 2, 3, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, left, left. So it sounds quite gentle with the more open interpretation. And if I take it back then to the more closed right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. It's got a little bit more cool. It kind of trips over itself a little bit more. Right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right. Good. Very, very nice. Hopefully you could all follow along to that okay. So that is the single drag paradiddle, and the next rudiment in lesson 3 from the rudimental ritual is the double drag paradiddle. It's quite wearing on the voice, talking solidly like this throughout. So excuse me that I keep getting a little choked up today, getting emotional. So this is a 4 rudiment, and it just has an extra drag in there. It's in 4/4 is what I mean by a 4 rudiment. So it has the accent again, then a drag, then the drag into a paradiddle. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. I'm not being very military about the way I'm playing them today. If I was being more military, let's take this back quickly to the drag paradiddle, single drag paradiddle. Da, sika da. Oh, so I've still got that one in my head. Sa, sika da, 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 da. I'd be bringing my hand straight up there. I'd be playing from that left hand in the middle of the paradiddle, straight up, because I know the next left hand is an accent. I'm playing a little bit more loose and molar-y, I guess, or just, you know, maybe lazy, who knows? You can judge that yourself. Da, sika da, 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 sa, sika da, da, see, sa, sika da, 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 sa, sika da, 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 is what we should really be doing when we're focusing on these at the start. And the same for the drag paradiddle number 2. Da, sika da, sika da, 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 sa, sika da, sika da, 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 sa, sika da, sika da, 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 da. So picking that one up. I haven't worked on these for a while. I guess that's kind of showing a little bit, huh? So let's give this a go with the metronome. It's a accent, drag, drag paradiddle. Accent, drag, drag into the paradiddle. Sa, da, 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 right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, sika da, sika da, sa, sika da, sika da, sa, da, sika da, sa, sika da, sika da, sa, sika da, sika da. You all know I'm always singing these things. Just makes it so much more musical. Been saying this in every video, and I will continue to say it. Just helps us get the feel of them. Good. I'm going to move on because we've got 2 stickings for our next rudiment. And I'll be honest, I prefer drag paradiddle number 1 to drag paradiddle number 2. I use it a ton in fill ideas because it's really lovely as a triplet. Works really, really nice as a triplet. So it's really important when we're working on these that we remember to take them to the kit and think about how we can start to move those around and start to move, not just think about it, start to move them around, of course. So what do we have next? We have the, is it Berger 25? It is, isn't it? Berger 25, just need to quickly check now. Lesson 25, no, of course, Berger 25 is later on. The oddly named Lesson 25, so called because when in 19, I forget, or maybe even 18 something, the Rudimental Drummers Society, National American Rudimental Drummers, NARD, yeah, were putting together the different rudiments for judging snare drum competitions way before the drum kit was even put together. So yeah, it was in the late 1800s. And they found one book by a guy, I forget his name because his name isn't in the rudiment, and they just went through it and they were like, oh yeah, lesson 25 in this book. We like that one. And they called the rudiment lesson 25, which is kind of so unthinking and unimaginative, isn't it? But hey, drummers in the 1800s, hopefully. I mean, you know, all these names are so stupid sometimes, but hey. So this is a non-alternating rudiment. This stays, first of all, with a right-hand lead, and then we stop and we start again with a left-hand lead. Although when you come to putting this together in the rudimental ritual as a piece with a samba underneath, you do have to play it and just switch straight away with no pause. So we've got a quiet right hand into a quiet little drag, and then a left hand accent on the offbeat. Right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, da, 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 da. I'm playing this open again here, but we can of course start to close that when we've got more confident with our roughs and drags, and we should practice it both ways, because probably we'll have times where we want to play it one way, times where we want to play it the other way. So here it is closed. Sa, zigda, da, da, zigda, da, da, zigda, da, da. This always makes me think ding 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 ding. Don't know if you know that. It's an old classical music piece, and it has that kind of rhythm going on the piano. So when I'm playing it slowly, then I just can't help get that stuck in my head. My dad's a piano teacher, and I grew up with all of these things going into my brain. So that's where that comes from. Let's see how this feels. As it should really be played probably in context of the 16th, but we'll play it in an 8th note rate here to the metronome. So, right, left, 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 right, accent time. Da, da, take it da, bam, dam. Take it up, dang, dang, 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 take it up, dang. I'm playing this closed at the moment. Let's just slow that rough down. Da 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 da. Right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, left. So if the fast double that is too much for you at the moment, you can play that this way, but it's cooler, I think, with the closed interpretation. And I think, if I remember correctly, Alan Dawson is the author of this method of teaching and this rudimental ritual, this piece. Also preferred people to practice it in the closed interpretation, pushing the two doubles of the rough closer to the single at the end, 3-stroke rough. Right, left, 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 right, left. So we now, from lesson 1, which started with the 3-stroke rough, have, hang on, 9 rudiments, including 3-stroke rough, that all have a 3-stroke rough in them. Now, lesson 25, da, 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 right, left, 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 right. Slow that double down again. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Just for those of you who find that little twitch, fast double, drop, grab double, a little bit too much. And then back to the closed. This, can't say it enough, why you should do 10 minutes at least. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left of these secondary beat rolls we were doing earlier. 10 minutes or more each day will lead to just lovely, lovely doubles with a load of control. So do it. And if you're tuning in Monday to Friday here, 10 o'clock UK time, 11 o'clock here in Germany, we will, of course, be doing that. Some number of minutes of that. So really cool. Really good thing to do. Left, right, left, right. Let's swap it now. Left, I said I'd do a little pause, but I'm just so used to swapping to the other side in the rudimental ritual. Left, right, 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 left, right. Slow that double down. Right, left, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, reason I don't like the open interpretation, hope you've all got the left hand sticking here, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, is it starts to become a bit too much of a rhythm, which is a cool rhythm as a different thing. But it's not, for me, it's not the rudiment. Notice I am being more successful with my military technique here. My, what's the word I'm looking for? Not perfect, but you know, aiming for perfect technique, where my left hand is not really moving, he says, checking, from that tap stroke position, 30 degrees, 3 inches, 12 centimeters, whatever it is, above the drum head or practice pad head. And the right hand, after the double, tap left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, is coming straight back up, and after the accent is staying down. And that's a really good thing to do, by the way. Separate the hands so that you can hear what's going on. You could do it with the left hand or the other hand tapping on the knee, or once you're more confident, of course, left, right, 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 left, right. You can just take it out completely. Left, right, 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 left, right. There are some great videos on YouTube from Vic Firth. Forget the drummer's name, who they do these videos with. But if you ever want a quick reminder of how a rudiment sounds, then just Google the rudiment or search in YouTube, and you'll find a ton of guys giving you explanations. The reason, of course, I would recommend going with the Vic Firth videos is they're not just some random guy on YouTube, perhaps like me. You can be assured that it's someone who knows what they're talking about. You can be assured of that with me as well. But yeah, when you see these dodgy quality videos on YouTube where they've got the camera right here and you can't even see their face, and I don't know, horrible. There are some really, I find these ones really unappealing. And you don't know, I'm sure, you know, a ton of these guys can be great drummers. Some of them explain things really well. If you find guys you like, stick with them, because that's great. You know, follow their channel, whatever. Follow my channel, like and subscribe. Hey, that's what you do on YouTube, right? But yes, you've got to be careful because some of these guys speak nonsense, or, you know, it's like questionable. I'm not sure. I don't want to like slate these guys. I don't want to say bad things about them, but sometimes they can give you odd advice. Perhaps some drummers would think my advice is odd, of course, because there is, it's not that there's no right or wrong, there are degrees of right. So we just got to be a little bit careful about that we don't get someone showing us some dodgy things. I've seen some really, really weird videos about doubles. One guy talking about the fact that you should kind of be thinking that you're pushing through the drum, which no, we don't want to ever push through the drum. You play off the drum, always thinking up. We want to be thinking up, 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 up. Drums is more about the ups than the downs, really. The down happened already, and your next thing comes from the up. So, you know, we don't hit the drum. I love this one. Someone once heard someone say this. We don't hit the drum to create the sound. We pluck the sound out of it, just like a guitar. You leave the plectrum, the pick, in the guitar string, bam, you know, you're not going to get a sound. As I was saying earlier about the xylophone, same idea. We want to pluck the sound out of the drum, lifting the sound from the drum, letting it vibrate. So we've got 15 minutes left, 14 minutes left, and I'd just like to talk a little bit, as I've been talking about a drummer or a drummer each day. Monday I talked about first day, which was Wednesday, I talked about Ringo Starr, the Beatles. Then yesterday I was talking about the wonderful Alan Dawson, of course, with the Rudimental Ritual. Today I would like to talk about Primus, who are a band that I love. Thank you, Andrew. Primus are absolutely wonderful. I found them when I guess I was 14, 15. I discovered in this wonderful music shop in my hometown, Leamington Spa, called FOP, which was a big thing at the time. FOP rapidly expanded across the UK, and they were selling tons of albums. But this was before Spotify, before the internet was even that big, to be honest, showing my age a little bit. So they were selling albums for like £5, which was incredibly cheap. Everything was £10, £15, £13 normally in the main high street shops, and they had managed to get a load of old stuff, random old things, and they put it all out there for £5, and you'd find all these incredible albums, really, really nice and cheap. So I discovered I kind of heard the name Primus, and I discovered the Brown album, which is, I think, not their most famous album, but certainly up there. It's on Spotify. I urge you guys to go and check this out and have a listen to Primus, or just have a look on YouTube. They're completely mental, but they're wicked, amazing players from Texas. And they kind of play on this kind of redneck vibe coming from Texas. They're, of course, incredibly intelligent dudes who are really trained in music, etc. And hey, Jose! Of course, my good friend Jose here, who's a massive, Jose Mario, who is a massive Primus fan. And they all really trained and studied and know what they're talking about, but they kind of make a lot of jokes in their lyrics about this kind of redneck world they grew up in Texas. And one time I was heading to New York to play some concerts in New York before we went to Texas to play South by Southwest, my first time, and in fact my only time in America. And I was always saying to people, do you know this band in the UK? I was saying, do you know Primus? No, never heard of them. Kind of know. And then I would see in like the album sleeves of bands that I liked, like Korn, and like, this was early 90s new metal scene, that or mid 90s, that these bands were listening to Primus, so I knew they were known and big. And pretty much as soon as I got off the plane, there was this huge billboard advert for these guys. And I was like, man, the Americans get it. They know about these guys. How the hell are they not in the UK? What the hell? And I became obsessed with them over the years. And I had a wonderful live DVD, which annoyingly, I think I still have the case for this. And I left the actual DVD on a tour bus. Which is really, really annoying because it's quite hard to find DVD actually, although with the internet now, probably a lot easier than I think. And there's some wicked moments in it. Brain, they had two drummers over the course of their career. They're still going now. And Brain is one of them. And Tim Herb Alexander, I think, was the first drummer. So Brain is the guy still playing with them now. He's got a wonderful, wonderful instructional video, which you can check out bits of on YouTube. Shredding reppies on the Na Na Rad. If you can spell that, then well done. But look for Brain, Shredding reppies, R-E-P-I-S, on YouTube. And check out something. He's insane. He's such a crazy dude. And has weird bits where he's talking about eating, he's talking about drums while eating a chalk ice, just in like some swimming shorts on the roof of a building in like the blazing sun, lying back on a sun lounger. Like just really, really funny, but wicked drumming as well, and like a totally different take from most drummers. So really worth checking out. I remember in this video, there's a really nice bit in this DVD. There's a little bit, I've never been able to find this on YouTube, where they, whichever drummer it is at this point, does this like 100 drum solo. I've taught this to a number of you guys who are my students who are watching. And all it is, it's kind of a simple trick. I can't do it because it involves the bass drum as well, so you're not going to hear this now, but it's essentially right foot, right foot, and he's doing this around the kit, snare, tom, snare, tom, kind of thing. He grabs a beer with his other hand, downs this bottle of beer he's got, throws the beer in the end, grabs his stick, smashes the beer bottle as it comes back down, and then carries on solo. And it's just like, yeah, that's cool, man. You know, I'm not normally one for saying you should practice these showy-offy techniques like this right, foot, foot thing. How often are you going to get a chance to use it? But hey, one day you could be as famous as Brain, playing on a big stage like Primus, and maybe that's your moment to steal that idea from him via me. So yeah, that's a super cool thing to do. Just before we finish off then, I want to look at one of my favorite rhythms. We just got about 8 minutes to do this. Maybe I turn that off for a second actually, and it is baillon. Baillon, I was taught when I was, I guess, 15, 16 by my teacher as a way to strengthen up the left hand, because it involves only left hand doubles, although we can interpret this in different ways. And I guess next week I'm probably going to show you guys some different ways to interpret it. I thought I was going to have time for that today, but no. So the sticking, right, left, left, we do that twice. So almost like the triplets I was doing yesterday, right, left, triplets. But at the end, we then just play right, left, 2 singles, which makes a group of 8, gives us a group of 8. Right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If you want to think of it that way. Of course, really, it's not. It's 8th or 16th notes. Right, left, right, left, right. Right, left, right, left, right. Let's try this with the metronome. Lovely feel to this. You can do loads of cool fills with this, moving the right hand around the kit and even the left hand a bit, cool grooves. We'll maybe talk about that a bit more next week as well. But for now, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. You see now that right, left, right, left. Our accent, the second accent, because it's a group of 3, moves on to the offbeat, which is super cool. This gives a feeling of slow. Oh, I can't do it and say it. Slow and play it. slow, fast. Slow, fast. Right, left, right, slow, fast, slow, fast, fast, right, left. Really lovely feel. Right, left. 1, right, left. Now we're playing this at 8th note speed at the moment, but normally in context, in a groove or a fill, I would be playing playing it as a 16th note, which is super nice, right. So you can see, right, when we speed that up, left, right, left. It just sounds cool. Right, left. Second, that's going to be wicked in a fill, right? Right, left, right, left. We can bring those left hands up, right, left, in volume, right, left. If we want to, left, right. A little bit more volume is going to make it a little bit more rock. Right, left. But I love it with these little left hand ghost strokes. Right, left. Who wants to try doing this at 16th note speed? Last few minutes. Why don't we push ourselves? Left, left, right, left, left, right. In a second, I'll take us up to the 16th note. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, 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 left, accent all the singles. Alternate, so we do the accents every other time. All accents. Excellent. Who could do that? Let me know in the comments if you're cool with it at that speed. Really interesting for me to know, because then I know, of course, what I can do next time, what I can throw at you next time, what's not going to kill you. Yeah, we're coming up to the end of the lesson now. Thank you so much for joining in, for following along. I hope you've learned something. I hope you're feeling good and limber in the arms and hands. And please share this with people if you know other people who would be interested. Do share this with them, and you know, all that normal like and subscribe stuff for people who aren't my students or already my subscribers to my channel. Really, really nice to see you guys today. It is Friday, so I wish you a wonderful weekend. And if anyone joined the video late, I think you should skip back to the beginning. This goes live again, and not live, this goes up, and you can rewatch it. And you can see my beautiful little catty who joined the family this week, Tuesday. In fact, 2 little catties joined us this week, Tuesday, as I explained at the start. So go back and check it out. And yeah, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I'm a little bit early, actually. I thought I'd got less time than this. But anyway, no stress, right? I wish you a beautiful weekend, and that you and your family are all safe and well. And I look forward to seeing you at 10 a.m. UK time on Monday, 11 a.m. on in Germany and Central European time. Anyone else who's in France or any other places who are watching this, let me know. Not sure there will be, but hey. And yeah, on that note, take care of yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Ciao.